a whole bunch of teams on the EU side in the past. Of course, they were number 2 seeded in this tournament. They were number 2 seeded above Fnatic, who they beat in the qualifiers. And let's not forget that Fnatic had just beaten Misfits, the number 1 seeded team from Europe this morning. So by that math, I definitely think Cloud9 is the favorite, and by our hearts as well, Huck.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of weird how that always works, where certain players beat other players, and you think A beats B, and B always beats C, so C automatically is going to do well. But that's not always the case, and I mean, we saw Reunited just this last match, really strong. Like now, if we had to judge things, I think Reunited would probably be the best EU team, because Misfits seem to choke a little bit. That could be the case here for both teams, but I think C9, you know, they both sides already have live event titles already underneath their belt, so they're going to be experienced, and I expect them to be playing super solid. Like, we've seen a lot of sloppiness today from different teams, and we've seen Fnatic, you know, a good team, but they overperformed today, and I'm expecting both these teams to show up. No sloppiness, very coordinated. All right,
Huck, so coming out the gates, we do have an interesting composition. Of course, we are going to see Hanzo again here on King's Row. We saw it happen earlier today when Reunited pulled it out against Complexity, and Tavik, we've seen him do this before in the past. Will it pay off? Will he be able to get the scatter arrow? Reaver and Grego, though, take the first 2 bloods, so Cloud9's going to hold pretty safely here and get a little bit of ultimate charge as well.
Yeah, that was a great job by Kai too. They actually ran the Roadhog as well, so it's a very interesting composition by Rogue, but he actually hit that shield perfectly. All he got was a lot of charge, and so far, so good from Cloud9. You can see the damage, though, from this Hanzo just constantly poking at that shield, and Reinhardt's going to have to constantly drop that.
You know, this is a really interesting composition from Rogue, because they have 2 characters that can basically, in an instant, take anyone from Cloud9 out of the picture if they're able to get the headshot, just like Tavik has been able to do against Debed here. They're going to be able to have a nice advantage, although looks like Cloud9 is stroked back really quickly here.
Yeah, I just want to highlight real quick that actually Grego's doing a great job. I think he has 2 or 3 kills already, and we can see ultimates starting to pile up on Cloud9 side, as well as Kai getting that Zarya ult so quickly. It's such an important ultimate. On the other side, Tavik is doing a great job actually getting the majority of the kills.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the fact that Grego has been able to get a couple of kills. He's one of the few support players that actually has a hardcore FPS background. He's a shoot mania and CS guy, so he goes for those headshots as Lucio every time.
Yeah, which is hard to predict, but it looks like they're going to push in here. They're going to actually get an early pickoff, 2-3, and it's looking really bad for Cloud9 so far.
Yeah, Cloud9 didn't have any defensive ultimates that they could use there, so they're going to get picked off very quickly. Reaver, the last one, surviving. Adam will have his Transcendence for the next fight, but too little too late, as Rogue is going to get a pretty okay capture on the first point. But as I think Mitch was mentioning earlier today, often we see top teams taking this point on the first push. So all right for Rogue, but they probably wanted to get it a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and more importantly, both teams seem very comfortable. No one's rushing anything. Everybody's playing pretty patient. If one side gets an advantage, it's not sloppy. They're not bleeding. They're not staggered. You can see they're already playing this corner, and Tavik is doing a great job. Gets another headshot and actually takes out Sherfor.
Oh yeah, and he's gonna actually use the ultimate there, and there's no Zarya. Usually when you do see a Hanzo, it's because they're gonna try to combo with the Zarya ultimate, but not so this time, as the kills are coming out. Wins is going whole hog and getting 3 kills for his team in a row. That's gonna be enough for Rogue to push through the streets unfettered for at least the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, kind of surprising, actually. I expected Cloud9 to pull the trigger on a lot more ultimates, but they could be playing the waiting game. We just saw Rogue use all their ultimates. They have none right now. Cloud9 still have 3, and they're going to try to hold this point at the very last little bit.
Yeah, they still have time to jump on in there. It's always a risky play, though, when you're running out of time and you want to stop the payload from getting to the next checkpoint. Do you push in or do you wait? Certainly enough time here for Cloud9 to make their way back in. Earthshatter is missed, though. It does look like the Reinhardt shield is down for both sides. Debed is down, and it does look like Reinforce has to wait for a little bit. So it's going to be a good old-fashioned brawl on the payload here.
Yeah, very back and forth. They are being so aggressive, both sides speed boosting into each other, and it looks like this is a fairly even fight. It's still going on. Neither side wants to be decisive and push in. They're scared to lose any members from both sides. Kai still has that ultimate. Will he drop it? He's going to have to, I feel. Now is the time before he falls. He does drop it, but they just don't have any damage.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an interesting sound barrier dropped by Nox there. Not sure if it really got the value he's looking for, but doesn't matter. They got the kills that they needed. They're certainly going to be able to get to this next point in just a second here. Transcendence be damned. They're moving forward.
Yeah, they're trying to buy time here, Cloud9, but They're already down 2 or 3 members, and they're cleaning up the final 2. And now Cloud9 are super staggered. So far, Rogue has done a great job continuing to push through. Even when they hit speed bumps, it's only for maybe a minute at max, and they've set a great time so far.
And in a way, this is normal, isn't it, Huck? To have Kings Rogue go very quickly. Often teams that are equally matched in skill will both complete the map within, in the 6-minute range. So
yes.
we're still, this isn't like a ridiculously fast time that Rogue is working on, but they certainly have to feel good about it.
Yeah, and they actually, once again, have no ultimates, but on the other side, Cloud9 they only have 1, too, and Tibet already missed 1. He's about to go down. He's really low. They have been targeting him. He's got no shield, and he drops. Seems like Tibet is constantly dying, constantly dropping his shield.
Yeah, it looks like he was maybe a tiny bit out of position there, going around the bend there instead of falling back right away, and Grego will be the next to go down, so Rogue now is on the verge of setting a time here. Cloud9, though, still one last chance, and they have a couple of ultimates. That said, Rogue does as well, so we are about to see fireworks, Huck.
Yeah, they're going to have to try to push in here at the last second. You can see AKM holding back. He wants to get this Deadeye out. Looks like
looking for it.
Jump in. Is he going to get it?
Oh, the perfect Earthshatter gets at least 1, so he's able to get 2 down with that Deadeye, and that's probably going to be enough here as Cloud9 has exhausted the majority of their ultimates. Transcendence is going to keep them alive on the point for just a little bit longer. Actually, this is still anyone's game as Cloud9 has been able to filter in through spawn as they delayed a little bit.
Yeah, that Transcendence was very key, just keeping those 4 members up, and because the reinforcement spawn is so close, it looks like they're going to actually be able to push them back. Rogue, very intelligent, very calm. They say, you know what? They hold it this time. Let's pull back. Let's not give them any more charge on their ultimates, and let's push when we have more.
Yeah, every time I'm looking up at the board, it's either 1 ultimate or no ultimates, or the entire team has the ultimate, so they've been able to sync well, but Kai with a massive Graviton Surge, he's going to pick up 4 kills in an instant.
Yeah, that was a great job. You could see him he just ran right through the whole team. He runs past the Reinhardt shield. He makes sure the Reinhardt has to choose. Do I block these 3 or do I block the 3 behind me? Either way, your team's gonna be taking damage. And that was 1 ultimate to clean the whole team. And at the same time, he's giving his own team members chances to rank up theirs.
Yeah, and it does look like Tavik has switched on to the Genji, so we will finally have the Tavik Genji in play. Arguably one of the best Genjis on the planet. Let's see what he can do. Maybe pull out a Dragon Blade. He's just made the switch, so it's going to be a little bit of time. And it was looking like a really fast time for a moment there for Rogue, but all of a sudden, now moving into the area where you're starting to feel a little uncomfortable. They want to be able to set this time within the next 30 seconds, if possible, if at all possible, but they don't have the ultimates, Huck, so they're probably going to have to wait.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, there's so many DPS players that get all the credit, but we see a lot of the team captains, Internet Hulk here, Kai, they don't get a lot of the credit, but they're so consistent. They've both been doing a great job, especially on Zarya this tournament.
Oh, wow, the ultimates pulled out from Cloud9. They're going to hold so strong. The only silver lining for that, for Rogue there, was the fact that multiple ultimates were used to get that clean wipe. So Rogue back to the drawing board, and they are getting to the point where they will have 5 or 6 ultimates within the next 30 to 45 seconds if they're able to play this right. And if Wins is able to get up a good amount of charge as well, that's all they're gonna need. That's gonna be the cue for them to push in and try and set a time.
Yeah, you gotta be looking at that time though. Look, there's not much time left. It's only 1:40. Both teams are gonna pop a lot of ultimates here. It's kind of sloppy. Transcendence going down, healing as much as they can. They're gonna get almost a full wipe. 4 down so far for Cloud9. Can they close this map out? Looks like they're gonna clean them up. Can Cloud9 get out quick enough to contest this one more time? I think they can.
That was an absolutely beautiful Earth Shatter coming out from Reinforce. Totally changed that fight. Now Cloud9 has to scramble in. They're gonna have the Tracers. They're gonna have the Divas.
Whoa,
oh, Tibet actually land the charge. And that is a good Graviton Surge. It's gonna suck in a couple members of Rogue. The fight will continue though, and Tavik has brought out the Dragon Blade. He's able to get 2 kills. Is it enough? Yes, it is. Rogue sets a time of just about 8 minutes.
Yeah, that was a great time, but to be honest, from Cloud9's perspective, you don't have to, I don't think they feel bad at all. Especially they control the pace now, they know where they have to get, and that's the advantage of going second, is they know exactly how fast they gotta get this map, and they can play it very calmly, where on the other side, Rogue's like, who knows what Cloud9's gonna do? We gotta push this through ASAP.
Yeah. I do wonder if we'll see any kind of off-kilter picks here coming out of Cloud9 on attack. We did see quite an interesting composition just now from Rogue in the first phase of King's Row. They were running with the Roadhog, they were running with the Hanzo. looks to be a little bit more standard this time around.
Yeah, I think the Hanzo was a great pick. I definitely think Tavik on Hanzo paid dividends, and that is something we talked about earlier. It looks like we're going to actually take a look at the newspaper.
Roadhog Rampage.
Yeah, but we haven't seen it so far this tournament. Like you said, the Roadhog was picked. He even got a hook, which was almost in our skill level of games, for sure kill, but in this high-level coordinated games, you're almost always going to have a Zarya shield ready to go as soon as that hook comes through.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, it's always a interesting decision there because, of course, if you do opt for the Roadhog, you're able to bust down the enemy's Reinhardt shield so much quicker. But, of course, Zarya is probably like the best hero in the game right now. Zarya works in every single team composition, in every single situation, almost without exception.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if Rogue's going to try to pick on Tibet, because it seemed like, you know, between the Roadhog, the Hanzo, they had so much to break down that shield, and they were constantly targeting him. He was almost a non-factor in the last game, but at the same time, Cloud9, I think, made a little bit of adjustments, definitely talked to each other, opened up their comms, and they knew what they had to do at that last point, and they stalled out enough where they set and defended a good time.
And just like Envious, actually, looks like Cloud9's going to stick with only one tank as a Reinhardt here on the first point on attack, rather. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's completely fine. Kai on that Zarya is going to provide enough with the shields, yeah.
Oh, wait, he switched his... Oh, okay, maybe I'm blind. Never mind. Carry on.
Yeah, I think they're going to push in through Hotel. That's their go-to move, and it looks like they're going to get great position. They kind of trapped Rogue in this corner. If they can get 1 or 2 picks, it's going to be almost over, but he actually gets flashed there. You can see permanently stunned, and if you don't have that Reinhardt, it's going to be really hard to push into them.
And actually, the Reinforce, who's playing for Rogue right now, he did an AMA on Reddit, and everyone was asking him how to play high level. Oh man, Cloud9 looks like they're kind of falling apart here. For the time being, there's someone on the point though. Surefour is going to start capturing. Oh, Surefour gets 2 in an instant. What just happened?
Yeah, and look, he's at 17 HP.
Oh,
he's not afraid of anything.
That was unexpected, huh?
Yeah, usually when you're that low, you're like, all right, let me pull back. I don't want to stagger anymore. But he actually just went for it, and that's what makes Surefour what many players would consider at the highest level to be the absolute best player in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. He's in the conversation at very, very least to be in the top.
Oh no, he's the
DPS.
best. He is the best. He's Canadian. Canadians are great at the game. He is the best.
Yeah, Team Canada is going to be pretty good in the World Cup, I think. And look at this ultra-aggressive defense coming out from Rogue. They want to stop the payload right at the archways, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with this. Reinhardt's shield is almost dead. Is Surefour going to get 3 in a row? Surefour is on a rampage right here on Kings Row. 5. This is disgusting. What is even, like...
Canada.
I mean, if you looked at that first engagement, or the engagement rather, where Cloud9 was able to get the point, Tibet was out of that fight almost immediately. They were down their Reinhardt, and yet still Surefour was able to turn around.
I really didn't understand that either from Rogue's perspective. Like, moving in that close to where they would spawn anyways, like, are you really sacrificing that much? And now they have to walk so far to get back to it. And look how much ultimates there are here. We got Kai once again lining them up. There's no kills so far. AKM actually taking out Surefour. 2 going down. Adam falls to Devik. Kai getting 1 kill, but it looks like this is going to go heavily into Rogue's favor.
Okay, so, you know, Rogue, I do see what they were trying to do with the ultra-aggressive defense. They're going to have another chance if they lose that one ultra-aggressive push, and that second chance was all they needed. And they actually have the ultimate advantage for this next fight as well, as Cloud9 used quite a few. But man, what a performance from Surefour so far in this map. It's something to behold.
He is definitely an amazing player, and that's why many consider him the best in the world. He's just so consistent, and he has such a deep hero pool. You can see great play by Grego. As soon as he sees the ultimates being popped, Lucio pops his ult. He says, you know what, boys? Speed boost, let's get out of here. Ultimate down, ultimate wasted. But they're going to trade 1 here. It looks like that Lucio on the enemy side is going to go down, and Surefour's going to try to pop his ult. He's not going to get any room, though, and he actually goes down to AKM again, and 2 kills going in the favor of Rogue. But Reaver's going to come in here, die, and 4 go down. They do it. Cloud9 are going to have a lot of momentum here, and Defend actually getting on the board as well.
All right, that's the 2nd or 3rd time that Cloud9 has been in a 1 or 2 man deficit, yet still turned it around thanks to ult or thanks to insane accuracy, and they will be able to collect this next point. Moving on to the final, Tavik actually sticking with Genji on defense. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and they're going to contest it, actually. There's only 2 meters left, and it looks like they're going to get a great Earth Shatter here, and Reaver's going to be able to clean up a lot of this. feel like that was a waste of an ultimate. Zenyatta's not going to really
three
do much.
ultimates now.
Yeah, they're trying to buy time. They're trying to stick to this, but they are not Cloud9. They cannot do what Cloud9 did. When they're down 1 or 2 members, the rest of the team falls, and it looks like they just wasted a lot when they necessarily didn't need to.
Well, both teams dropped a whole lot of ultimates in that last fight, so actually everyone is ultimate-less if you take a look right now, and we will finally move on to this last stage. 4 minutes left.
They have a lot of time here. C9 have a lot of time, and I think they're going to be able to set a really good pace here. I think they know that they're confident, they're doing well, and they know Rogue doesn't really have much to offer so far in Ultimates too, just because they all traded out at that last point.
And I don't know if Reaver's been detected, actually. He's waiting up in the wings, waiting for his opportunity to drop. He doesn't have the Death Blossom, but he still could come in from the back, and here he comes. He's also got the Zarya shield, but not able to connect the way that I think he wanted to. He's able to take out the Zenyatta, though. So this fight still will rage onwards. Cloud9 decides to finally back off. They had a slight disadvantage, and this time, they're just saying, you know what? We've got a couple minutes left to do this. We're gonna just build our ultimates. We're not gonna waste anything. And, you know, is that how they should be playing this, waiting for ultimates? Obviously, if you can get an early pick, it changes things, but
yes,
for the most part.
Yeah, they're all, I think they just play a lot from field. They don't really have a manager or a coach that do too much analyst with them, and so far it's not working for them. They actually popped that Zarya ult. Kai went in, and Tavik, Dragon Blade, he just cleans up, kills 3, 4, and as you can see, top right, Rogue, still 3 ultimates left. Cloud9, they have nothing on the board. They're gonna have the Zenyatta ult, but probably one of the weaker ults in the game, I would say.
Yeah, unless you're facing off against Zarya, of course, it is great at negating Zarya. It's also decent at negating the Dragon Blade as well. If you do hear the Dragon Blade pulled, you can just pop that Transcendence and survive. Actually, your whole team can for the most part, but ultimates are starting to be dropped. Kai is going to draw First Blood in this engagement. It looks like Transcendence coming on out from Adam, so this is actually starting to look decent for Cloud9. They've gotten a couple kills, but Wins will strike back. Sure4 will get one as well. And wow, this is hectic. People are all over the place. What is going on right now?
Yeah, that Reinhardt reinforce was pointed at the wrong direction. He did not block any of that ultimate, and they're gonna run into trouble here. It looks like Cloud9 might be able to close this out. It might almost be over, and there was an interesting switch too. Kai at the end of that, switching to Winston, but they're gonna pop out. They might be able to hold him. How much longer do they have to?
Yeah, Zenyatta zooming on in with his ultimate, gonna get right into the fray, and that's actually all Rogue needed. So, there's only a couple of minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. 1 minute and 40 to be almost exact, and this is actually coming down to it. Cloud9 has not had that miracle push. They haven't had that opportunity to get all of their ultimates together and make it happen. And, you know, they don't have a Zarya right now, so that's probably one of the reasons why they haven't been able to combo just as well as you might expect by this point.
Yeah, I think Cloud9, they're just an extremely, wow. He actually just bled through that Reinhardt should have looked like.
Cloud9! I think they've done it! That Earth Shatter absolutely changed everything. As a Reinhardt player, that's so
rough. You see that all the time.
Yeah, he may have charged, he may have gone to throw a Fire Strike, he may have just dropped the shield for a split second, but the Earth Shatter connects, and that's all Cloud9 needs to take map number 1.
Yeah, and you can see the camera on the man himself, Sure4, taking his team, putting him on his back. Honestly, that was a team effort, but Sure4 showed up big, and that's what you need out of your star players. I feel like mostly today we've seen the team captains, we've seen the flex players show up, but Sure4, that last match, oh my gosh, he was on fire.
I agree, Huck. And, you know, I actually miscalled that fight. It looked like Cloud9 early on King's Row was going down and out, but Sure4 by himself, able to just get the kills he needed and the kills his team needed as well.
And that's the interesting part, though. We saw that in Fnatic as well, that they play very loose, they play risky, and when you can do that, and when you can do that as a cohesive unit, that's when you're going to get those wins, especially from behind.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Cloud9, but we're gonna throw it over to the analysis desk to break that match down more.
Thanks so much, guys. That was the first one between those two teams, so let's break it down. Oh, wow, I made a reference without even noticing it. Yeah, nice. That was great. However, let's talk about the game at hand. You mentioned something I thought was really interesting, and I would love to hear you following up on it. You said that Rogue went aggressive when they were on defense, really at a lot of places where they shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, look, it starts off at the start. I think like their attack was okay. But when they're on defense, like, they're trying to buy themselves a lot of time with these fights. And when Sure4 got that 5-man killing spree, That's super easily avoidable,
Yeah.
right? Like, Reinforce was caught so far forward of the rest of his team, out in front, as you should be. Then he just gets shunted off to the side, and then 2 people die to a Deadeye, and Showfor's like, well, now I'm going to kill the Reinhardt, because he's got no one to protect now, there's no one to fire back, and then I'm just going to walk down here and shoot a couple guys in the head. So that was Rogue. I think you guys probably agree with me there, trying a little bit too hard to push Cloud9 back, and maybe even play a mental game, trying to assert themselves, but it didn't work out.
There was also that moment when he was in the bookstore, he just popped out the side and killed Nox.
Oh, that fan hammer.
That shouldn't be happening. Like, things like that shouldn't be happening. They shouldn't just be able to get around the side. You shouldn't be able to flank so easily as he did, and it bought them so much time. This was towards the end here, actually. It was the big catch with the Graviton Surge. I think he caught all 6 of them in there. So either way, it's, you know, even that shouldn't really be happening.
I mean, maybe it was a mind game.
This is Shawford going off on this side. This was they were about to lose this fight, and then Shawford delivered.
He one-taps AKM in the head after killing someone else briefly for it, and AKM was like the savior. He was.
And look at his health. Look at his health. He's like, it was on nothing. It was on one blip.
He doesn't give a damn.
Yeah.
I think it was on 14 HP, actually, for like the majority of that fight, too, able to take down AKM. But maybe it was mind games, because they realized we just have to buy time. We don't need to full hold you as long as we buy as much time as we possibly can. And by forcing fights that where a team necessarily won't expect it, can really catch them off guard. However, as we saw, it didn't really work.
No, you can see a bit of the cleanup here as well. To bet the man on the screen was the guy who sort of put the last nail on the coffin.
Speaking
there.
of that, that was so from what I saw, because
we were looking, we're like,
I think Reinforce jumped, and the shield lifted high enough off the ground that the Earthshatter went under the shield and caught the rest of his team.
Either that or he dropped it and was trying to do the same thing.
True.
himself.
Yeah, he also could have dropped it. So, I mean, if they would have held that, if the Earthshatter didn't hit, Rogue could have actually won that map.
They only had a minute to go. That was all it was. Just 1 more minute. And, you know, 1 more minute is literally winning a fight there almost. And then they're basically in desperation by throwing divas and traces in there.
And that's all they needed. That one Earthshatter. There wasn't really any other high priority ults that were used to essentially break Rogue open there. One mistake. Reinforce. Sometimes he's a bit of a keen marine, and he had no reason to have his boots off the ground there. Should have kept that shield up.
That was the biggest problem was in the streets. We saw Reinforce going way too aggressive. And obviously, the rest of the team picked apart. Suddenly, they're in the Forge area. So they didn't really get held up in the streets much. So, but it was a very close game overall.
It was. I do want to talk quickly about the first game too, though, because, or like,
First round,
for the first round, our first game. We did talk about that Hanzo on the attack first point, and you did mention that that has a tendency of not working out. Why do you think it actually worked out for Rogue there?
You roll the dice, okay? When you take a Roadhog and a Hanzo, you have 2 heroes that can get picks, like 100 to 0 people, if you just manage to hit them. With Hanzo, again, if you get a headshot, you're good. If you hit a hook as a Roadhog, you're good. So for Rogue, the idea is to just get a pick and snowball that pick into other picks. Even if they lose the fight, ultimately, they've got staggered spawns coming back in for the defenders, and they can overwhelm them eventually with numbers. So, persistence pays with that strategy, and in fact, it was opening up that one really nicely.
Yeah.
Not quite as nice as Kib did earlier on, but still, the same strategy applies.
He killed Tibet, though. Like, that's a huge kill. Having the Reinhardt now gone,
They actually didn't get the follow-up. That was the weird part. Because the shield went down, boom, got the headshot. It was like, okay, that's the first point taken straight away. And then I think Shawford once again
does Shawford things.
The Shawford did his things, yeah.
But I mean, I think you're exactly right. The Hanzo is just like it's a roll of the dice. He does give you a lot of information, though, that like a Widow won't with a Sonic Arrow, be able to see where they're holding. But I think at this level of gameplay, you're pretty much going to assume where they're going to be. They're going to be back, by the hotel, kind of watching if you're going to push it, watching the front as well. But he hit the shot, and we've seen it work well so far today with Kib and Tavik, and we've seen it not work so well today.
Yeah, so Cloud9 took the first map, the second one is coming up, and actually the guys from Rogue decided to go on to Dorado.
Yep, okay.
The Demon is not happy with it.
It's a good map.
No, that's okay. I mean,
you look disappointed for a second. It's like, oh.
So, I mean, it is a map that Cloud9 lost to Fnatic on, so in the regionals, so they may have just been looking at that and thinking, okay, this is a map we could probably take. They didn't have themselves a great performance against Misfits.
Yeah, that's like Misfits
in the regionals as well.
Such a strong map for Misfits. I'm looking over their map stats, and Rogue is 13-5 against the top teams on Dorado. And then you look at Cloud9, and they're 5-3. So a lot more experience on the side of Rogue when it comes to this map.
As you can see now as well, this first point here is often the hardest to take.
Yeah.
A lot of defensive teams have come up with some more innovative stuff recently. This sort of proactive defense, this sort of don't let the attackers set up and get vantage points. Let's get in their face and actually either shift them out of comfort spots or force them into making mistakes. Obviously, we had a few teams struggle to get towards the end here and right up in that top ledge on the right side. That's where the last bastion of hope is for defenders on this map to keep the attackers at bay.
We've seen a lot of people fall on that ledge as well, not being able to close it out. It's fairly standard on this map to see it not finished.
So in terms of playstyle, Rogue, as you said, they did perform well on that map. Was there a certain way they played it which made them successful of it against all those top teams?
I think Reinforce getting the better of Debet quite a few times definitely helped. Getting that Reinhardt eliminated immediately, he was able to block quite a bit, able to swing away when Debet wasn't able to, and that alone, just taking on the Reinhardt. Like the thing is, when you play a comp like they were doing with like a McCree behind a Reinhardt shield, well, you need the shield, you need the Reinhardt, or you're not gonna be able to fire freely from the backside, and Surefour won't be able to hit the shots that we've seen him doing. So eliminating a tank is such a key thing, and we pointed this out before that Reinforce really loves these 1v1 battles against a Reinhardt. The mental battle, the actual physical battle, it's his territory.
I mean, both teams have got a pretty similar style. They both play very much the same way. They're looking for that pick and then go full aggressive. Looking for it, obviously, for Cloud9 in the form of Showdown, get that pick off, which he more than often does, and then the rest of the team will back it up. Exactly the same will be for Rogue. They'll be looking for that kill. We'll see if it works. I mean, there's a lot of flanking positions on Dorado.
Yeah, we seem to be able to flex a little bit, so maybe a Junkrat or some crazy other pick from him here could be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think we might see that.
Well, we're going to see what the players are throwing at us in that next game on Dorado. It is Reunited going up against Complexity in our Group B, the second game. Let's see if Reunited can... sorry. Rogue. Rogue and Cloud9, that way around. Let's see if Cloud9 can bring it home or if they're going to drop a match against the lovely guys from Rogue. And that's all going to happen over at the caster's desk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got map number 2. It's Cloud9 going to be taking on Rogue. And the first map was definitely entertaining. I like the fact that we're going on to Dorado because this is a map where crazy stuff can happen. Off-kilter team compositions can happen. Do you think we're going to see anything like that from Rogue?
Hard to say. I think more likely them than C9. C9's kind of like your bread and butter. They'll do the same normal stuff all the time, and they'll just try to, shove it down. It would be interesting. I would love to at least see the Hanzo. I think they can't go too crazy. One step crazy is fine. Going too crazy, I don't know. But if you guys want to see C9 win, let me hear you cheer. Give it up for C9.
And if anyone in the crowd is rooting for Rogue, give it up. All right, we got a whole lot of Rogue fans in the crowd, it seems like.
Biased. It's EU versus name.
Yeah.
So unfair. We'll see.
We'll cheer, Huck.
Yeah.
And I love this matchup because it really is about the star DPS players for each team. And if anything, if I had to give advice to either team, it would actually be maybe try and focus on that star DPS player just a little bit more. I mean, in the early phase of Kings Row, we did see Surefour with only 17 HP, able to get 2 or 3 kills. He was by himself, more or less. If he was focused on by even a support, he would have dropped. And there was once or twice where Tavik was kind of dashing through the whole team as Genji as well. So really got to focus on that DPS as they're flanking, as they're coming from the front, wherever they're coming from.
I still feel like both sides are kind of lacking that coach/manager role where they can go over a lot of VODs and work on critiquing, small mistakes. I mean, I know Jason liked to talk about Too Good leaving Rogue, but I think it was more of Rolf Gator. When Rolf Gator left, he left with IDD QD. I think he was a huge impact on that team. And of course, I don't think Cloud9 has ever had that super in-depth coach/manager that could help them. So I think both these teams would do a lot better with somebody in that position. But even just let alone by themselves, they are showing that they are a force to reckon with. And they need to come out with the win, because once again, you do not want to get second place in this group. You do not want to play
Envious. Absolutely. Envious is waiting in the wings, of course, in the upper bracket, just waiting to find out who their opponent will be. And Surefour actually now switching on over. No more McCree for him. It's going to be Reaver on McCree this time, as Surefour is going to be flanking up the left side, while the rest of the team's Huck is going to be going through the middle. Standard stuff here.
Yeah, I like this. There's a constant threat from the flanking side. At the same, you have your full force coming with the payload, constantly taking ground. I like this more than traveling as 6. A lot of teams like to push up that left side, go underground, pop up over top on that left side. I think it's much better just to have 1 or 2 members flanking and just be really well coordinated, so when you do push in, you're attacking from multiple sides and multiple pathways.
Absolutely. That's one of the beauties of this map, is that there are so many ways to get around and behind your opponents. But look at this aggressive push. Cloud9 has just decided to put the pedal to the metal, going straight into the face of Rogue. But so far, not really working.
Not working at all. Looks like they could finally take out the McCree, and that's what you said earlier. If you can take out those key members, if you can take out Reaver, if you can take out Surefour, the team just falls apart. There's no damage, and everybody else is gonna just build those ultimates. And you can see that already on the top left-hand side, Rogue having 3 in their favor, Cloud9 on the other side having 1, 2 finally with Sure4. And Sure4 on Genji, that is a dangerous, dangerous combo. Let's see if they can bring it back, because Rogue is just stacking them right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Genji go for the far right flank, going over the wall and coming all the way from behind. No, it does look like he's going to come from the front as the support ultimates and the sword pulled out from both sides. Let's see if he can get any kills. Right now, there's so many support ultimates out on the field that it's going to be very difficult with that Dragon Blade. But look at that! We didn't catch it on stream, but there was a massive, massive Graviton Surge. Going to get 4 or 5 kills in just a matter of a second.
Yeah, that's a very clean wipe. I think Rogue had to expend 3 or 4 ultimates there for Cloud9's 1 or 2. But all in all, that's what you want on this. Dorado's not that long. Time bank, you can see it's 2 minutes, and they still have 1 very clean team fight, or, you know, kind of 2 with staggered.
Yeah, looks like Cloud9 actually stumped as Reaver comes from the side. They called him out. Great team coordination. Maybe they heard the footsteps. Not sure what it was, but in the end, AKM had Reaver's number, and he seems to be coming out on top of these McCree versus McCree battles. And Sure4 is switching things up, now trying Tracer. By the way, he's one of the best Tracers in the world, too.
Yeah, it seems like he, like we said earlier, he has a very deep character pool. I just don't feel like Reaver's showing up, to be honest. Reaver is a great player, especially on hit-scan characters, but so far today, I haven't seen too much of him. He's losing a lot of these duels.
Now let's see. Reaver just mainly spamming through the middle, trying to take down the opponent's Reinhardt shield. So much is dependent on who has the shield up, and a big ultimate coming out from Reinforce, going to knock 2 onto the ground. No kills, though, until Tavik is able to get Sure4, who's been flanking in the wings. So Tavik has won that DPS battle, and this is actually looking scary all of a sudden as Cloud9, they're looking, they've only got 50 seconds, man. They haven't even made it past the archways yet.
It's very possible we could see a 1-1 here. I mean, if you can at least push that the first point, you're gonna have a tough time. Dorado is not a super difficult map to attack and at least get that first point, and they're having so much trouble. They got 30 seconds. They're basically gonna have to OT this to make it. It's an even fight, 2 ultimates on each side. If they're gonna do it, this would be the most even, the biggest chance they would have besides the start of the game.
Oh man, rough stuff for Cloud9. They don't have enough ultimates to make something huge happen. No momentous Graviton Surge. They're gonna have to rely on Debet to hit a big Earth Shatter here. Will that connect? It looks like it connected with 1 or 2. Tavik is gonna come down though on top of the payload. No kills. Debet will get 2. Reinforce will respond. Yet the fight rages on. It's only a 1-man advantage now for Cloud9. They only have 3 seconds left. They are gonna continue to get kills, but are they on the payload? Yes, they are. They have done it in the last possible second. Cloud9 made it happen, and looks like they're gonna get this checkpoint.
Very close.
Close.
Very, very close, and that would have been brutal for Cloud9. I mean, if Rogue stopped them at that first point, it's almost for sure going to go to that third map. It's still a very tough time. You only have 3 minutes from this point to the next, and there's so much high ground here. You can already see Rogue getting into position, and they're just going to be able to take pot shots at Cloud9, and Cloud9 don't really have a choice. All of their members can't get on that high ground. They got to just sit in the trenches and hope to not lose and bleed members out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Sure4 switch on to Genji, but he's actually on McCree now as they're going to drop the sound barrier.
I'm not
really sure why that sound barrier was dropped.
I'm not sure why you would drop either. You have the high ground advantage. Why would you drop down to fight them so early, too?
Sure4 does take the kill on Tavik, so potentially an opportunity for them. If they're able to take down AKM, who is absolutely raining hell from above right now, they could have an opportunity, Hug.
Yeah, they could, but at the same time, you can see that Cloud9 are just tearing them apart. I honestly do not understand that choice at all. You have high ground advantage. The payload isn't pushing yet. Why not wait? Why not wait to see if you can get 1 or 2 kills before dropping down? Especially wasting that Lucio ult. I mean, to me, that was a big error.
Yeah, I mean, the best teams are going to take that high ground, hold that high ground as long as they can, but here comes a Graviton Surge? Is that what I just heard? Or I didn't see it. Thought I heard something.
And you can see Sure4 once again getting 2 more kills. Tavik on the other side, the challenger from Rogue, has been doing a great job so far, but he needs to do more for his team. Debet actually switching to that Winston. Very interesting choice. They want to be more mobile. They want to be able to get on that Genji. Tavik has been a problem the whole game, and he's going to fight, and he's going to actually pick up Sure4 as well.
Oh, but it's Tavik versus the world. Cloud9 still up and on the point with, of course, a Winston in the fray. Winston and Azaria. There's going to be another beat dropped by Rogue to try to push on in here. They didn't have the numbers advantage, but that beat drop should be enough. A big Earth Shatter comes down. It's going to be enough to take down Debet. So now Cloud9 is down 2. They have to wait for the next spawn wave because down this many players, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it did not help Cloud9 there either. They just used gravitation, and sometimes they were able to turn the fights, but there, that was just a wasted ult. I mean, there was nothing they were going to do. They didn't have the damage. They already lost both damage dealers. I feel like they take too many risks sometimes, and Cloud9, they're having a tough time. They can't, if they don't get this point even, it's going to be really tough on Dorado. I would expect Rogue to at least make it close to that final checkpoint.
I mean, if Surefour's going to play Genji at all on this map, I'm surprised it's not here on this point, but it looks like he did want to switch on over to the McCree. Surefour now down and out, though. Reaver will take 1, but Reinforce responding with 2, and this is a recurring story. We've seen both tanks for both teams getting a ton of kills here on Dorado.
Yeah, and very surprising. Once again, I would just want to say, Reaper, I don't feel like he's playing up to his potential. He's a great player. You can see Debet getting a lot of kills.
What is Debet doing?
Now, Winston, no brain, no aim, Winston main.
Yeah, but making it happen, but 1 second left. They're going to be able to jump on in the last possible second, but do they have enough of an advantage? Tavik is behind with the Harmony Orb, which is a scary prospect indeed, and it looks like Cloud9 may have been stumped on the second point. They don't have the numbers to survive here for much longer. There's going to be a sound barrier as well from Rogue, and Rogue wants to stop this here and now as Winston goes flying.
Yeah, that poor Winston, and yeah, you could hear the crowd getting behind this European team. Rogue, very like they could make this 1-1. We could go to a third game, and they have never beaten Cloud9 to date. Cloud9 has never lost to them, so this would be a decently big upset going into this match.
Yeah, definitely, and they got to feel really nice about this. They disallowed Cloud9 from even getting to the second point. And guys, remember, this is Rogue's map choice, so of course they have practiced this one. They feel confident on this one, at least more confident than any other map. So we'll see if Cloud9 can put up just as strong of a defense, or if we're going to go to a third and final map, which of course, folks, would be Cloud9's choice.
Yeah, it's really interesting too, because for the most part, we've seen when it gets to that loser picks map, they're most likely picking King of the Hill, especially the European teams. They seem to favor it, and Rogue is a team that plays well on King of the Hill too, so it really confuses me when they pick this, but so far so good. And actually, we might see Anna. We haven't seen her too much.
Oh, what?
Yeah, we have not seen her too much so far, but we'll see if they stick to it. Sometimes the players like to troll us, but I actually think it's a very likely choice. I think it's very consistent, and when you know you only have to go as far as a point, almost 2 points, yeah. It's almost like a guaranteed wipe, or at least 1 or 2 kills.
Yeah, I mean, what they're probably trying to do here with this composition is say, look, if we have Nano Boost up and we have the Genji Blade up, then we can probably push through. Yeah. Or, you know, you can actually unsheath the Dragon Blade and put the Nano Boost maybe on the Reinhardt or something, and it's a really tough proposition to stop that. So if they're able to do that, they're going to get past this first point and have a ton of time for that next point. And guys, Anna can build her ultimate in a matter of 30 seconds. No joke, it can happen within 30 seconds if you're just continually healing a tank or something like that. So we'll see if this actually ends up being the pick. Yes, indeed it is.
Yeah, and it's very dangerous too. Tavik on this Genji, proving that he is a force to be reckoned with. He has done a great job so far, even outshining Cloud9's DPS. I feel like Reaver, he needs to come hard on this Reaper this time, and if he doesn't, Cloud9 are gonna lose this map.
All right, Tavik has been forced to push back just a little bit, and he will take a flanking angle once again. We'll see which direction he decides to go, and this is the beauty of this first point on Dorado. Of course, you're pushing through the middle, but folks will be flanking from the left, flanking from the right. Surefour gets the early kill, though, on Tavik, and that means that back to the drawing board for Rogue. They do have Anna ult, though.
Yeah, we talked about how fast Anna can get this ultimate. You can see it's already up. It's the first ultimate up, and it's not even close. There's nobody within 80% of
here we go.
Ultimate, and they're going to just
Reinforce is going to go ham. Let's see what he can do, but no one. Huge charge comes out of Debet. We've seen that earlier in the day from Stoop. He actually made a big play like that as well. So once the Anna ult comes out, it's been stopped. And Tavik has been stopped by Earth Shatter. Debet.
That was a great Earth Shatter.
MVP Debet right there. He stopped 2 ultimates single-handedly.
Yeah, they tried to keep the Genji blade up. They even Zarya shielded, but it wasn't enough. Actually, Zarya's gonna pop for all. They could turn this. Yeah, they turned this fight around. They were down 1 or 2 members in both teams, willing to take risks, and they're gonna get this first point. It looks like Rogue is doing a good job so far.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Tibet playing out of his mind right there, but the rest of his team wasn't able to deal with AKM, who came in, got a couple of kills. I believe it was Nox who got a kill even there. But now Tavik is gonna, look, he has the high ground, and we've seen this from more and more teams recently. It's gonna be a sneaky McCree coming up top, gonna throw the flashbang, of course, over the Reinhardt shield. It's forcing Cloud9 to drop, and Cloud9 has dropped quickly. Reaver, though, getting the first kill in that engagement.
Yeah, very aggressive drops. It was the same way on the other team. They're playing about something we don't know is what they're doing, because it seems like they worked actually for this first time. I don't know. I feel like if you stay on the high ground, it's always better. Even though they won that fight, they're going to be behind ultimates now, and you can see at the top left, Rogue have 3 ultimates charged. Cloud9 have 0 in their favor right now. If they drop and they fight evenly, they will lose this fight.
Oh, Cloud9 cannot engage before that beat drop is gone. It is now dissipated, but Surefour will get a kill, and a quick ultimate kill. And of course, even if you can just get 1 kill with the Deadeye, it's probably worth it in a lot of situations. And Cloud9's going to be able to clean up here, absolutely, but still so much time left on the clock, Huck, and only, probably 50 meters left to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought Rogue would have that fight. They traded 2 for 2, but then they lost 2 more members, and actually Reinforced dropped his ultimate. It's like he was the only one up, and he tried to, turn the tables, but you really can't do much when you're just a Reinhardt versus almost the full team of Cloud9 with 4 members up.
This is a funny position. One of the most unique positions on any map in the game. You can actually stand up on this bridge, and the payload can't go past you. It counts as contesting when you're on top of this bridge. So Reinhardt could just place himself up there. Tavik, of course, looking to flank, but Surefour has Tavik in his sights. He is looking for that kill.
Yeah, and I think that's the matchup they're looking for, especially the McCree versus Genji. You can see that Tibet is doing a great job just shielding for his teammates. He's in a great position. He's going to move forward. As soon as Zenyatta pops that ult, he knows that he's not in any danger of dying, and when it runs out, he has his shield in place. They're doing a great job so far. Time's getting a little close, but Rogue still have time. They don't need to rush this. They're going to get 2 kills. This could be the opening. They could close it out. Can they get 1 more? They actually deflect there. AKM getting a kill as well. Grego trying to do everything that he can, but as a little Lucio, not much you can do but hop around to try to buy time for your teammates to get back in place, and it looks like they might close this out.
Oh, Reaver coming from behind. He's going to be able to wait Wraith walk in and delay this for just a split second, but no Earth Shatter for Tibet. He can't do much by himself, and that is going to be it. Rogue is rolling into the final place. Kai will go down instantly. Grego the last one alive, and Rogue has done it, tied the series up to 1-1.
Surprising. I gotta say surprising. I did not expect this match to be that close. On Cloud9, I don't know, you can see them over there. They're talking right now. They're not sure what happened there, discussing maybe what they can change. I definitely feel like Surefour is doing everything they can, and Tibet, great plays. Grego's doing the right thing. I think they need to figure out some hero swaps at this point. I feel like Reaver so far has not been doing the necessary damage, where Tavik, obviously on Rogue, doing a lot of damage.
Well, now we set our sights to the next map. Where will Cloud9 decide to go? Let's head over to our analysis desk to find out.
Well, thank you, guys. Well, I would just say the desk did predict it, or parts of the desk did predict it.
Hook might not have been expecting it, but we expected it, that's for sure. I mean, you said it. You called the stats out right at the start. Cloud9 have not had a good success on Dorado, and it showed. They struggled on it was really the first section that held them up the longest. I mean, they hit it in overtime, didn't they? Yeah. So immediately it gave them problems in the church section.
I mean, it was also that beautiful Zenyatta ult kind of saving the day at one point as well. So.
Well, that saved it. Well, it kept Cloud9 alive.
It kept them alive.
It was like a shot of adrenaline to the heart, really, because Rogue weren't reinventing the wheel on their defense there at all. They held off like 4 or 5 pushes from Cloud9. It was standard compositions, right? Nothing wacky, but it was Tavik on Reaper, who was constantly unattended, constantly able to come from corners or come from behind or above in that case where they were saved by the Transcendence. He just put so much damage down there as well. Cloud9 constantly seemed uncertain about when to pull the triggers. Like, you get up so close, you can look your enemy in the eye, and you still don't know whether you're going to throw the first punch there. I think that let Cloud9 down a little bit with their tenacity working onto that first point.
Yeah, I actually, since you're bringing out uncertainty, Did I miss a moment there? Was that?
I was just thinking, looking the enemy in the eye and throwing the first punch. I was like, how close do you get?
I don't know.
I don't know what goes on in Australia these days. That's all. I was
No, since you just brought up uncertainty, Reinforce actually seemed to struggle a little bit with some split-making decisions. What were your thoughts on some of his plays there?
I don't think it was terrible. I think like, there was this one example I think we got here of some of the fights. We see a moment for Reinforce where it was a little bit tricky. This is where the Graviton Surge came in. This is just one of the many fights in which Cloud9 got top-decked and wrecked. Here, I think Reinforce has to make a hard decision. Do I shut down the Reaper ulting or... Yeah, he goes for the shutdown here as well. That's a tough one. He did have wins back there, was already shielded now. It's moments like that as well as a Reinhardt. I wanted to bring that up and just say it is a mental game of chess. Your resources are so slim, and for Reinhardt, it can take quite a while to get that ult, and it's probably the highest value ultimate in the game as well. So using it prudently is very important.
I think one thing we haven't really mentioned is, we talked about Tvik on defense, but we haven't mentioned how well he shut down Surefour on the Tracer, who was running around trying to actually be a big distraction. And even with Reaper, still able to actually take him out 1v1, or maybe he just got the assist, but he killed him nonetheless. And that was a big factor to actually shut them down, because Reaver was playing actually the McCree, and Surefour was on the Tracer. So they switched things up a little bit, which Surefour had such great success on King's Row. Reaver didn't have the same success, and you have to credit that to Tvik and the entirety of Rogue. And then also Tvik past that point, his Genji was phenomenal. His Genji was pretty much the reason they held at that final area, because he was able to kill some more. Actually, he got a reset because I think it was Unco getting a kill, dashed straight in the air just to buy some more time, and then went back in for some more kills. And he actually helped hold on to that final point.
And of course, there was a couple of moments there, the Binyay brothers, AKM and Wins, managed to get that first point for Rogue sort of together there as well. That was played really nicely. It's good to see Wins on that Zarya pick as well. I think if you asked him, he'd probably like to play McCree, but he's allowing his brother to do it as well. I think AKM's a little bit sharper. I think Wins is, maybe his edge is dulling with age, but still he's playing a very important role there on the Zarya.
Well, we never mentioned the Ana pick.
No, I was just about to ask, since Stir was probably very, very excited about it, and I felt like it really worked out in this very scenario.
The way they used Ana was really interesting. It wasn't like, let's put it on Reinforce and let him kill people. It was, let's put on Reinforce and use him as like a pseudo Winston to jump in the backline with Tvik, who came around the corner from the high wall. Yeah, they went towards the back line. They wanted to focus people down. He just got charged and he got delayed a little bit of time, so he wasn't able to do that. But then, like you said, the two brothers were able to close them down with the Graviton Surge.
Wins and AKM were very good on that point. Like that fight was lost, and then the brothers going to work it out.
But you see how teams are dealing with nano-boosted heroes, Reinhardts especially. It's like, obviously your threat almost triples as a Reinhardt's nano-boosted because of your mobility. You literally just walk across the field and smack someone in the head a few times. So he instantly drew a charge out from Debet. Debet had to charge Reinforce there as well, which is not always what the target you want when the fighting gets so close. But he knew that while the animation of the charge was happening, while he had the stun knock up on the wall, that's seconds of nano boost that are being lost from Reinforce to otherwise actually dish out damage.
Yeah, now that they just won, that means that Cloud9 is going to choose the next map. What are you guys thinking they're going to go for?
Well, they just told us.
Well, I didn't hear it. No one told me. So please let me know. Let's guess then.
It's Lijiang Tower, so King of the Hill. This is ballsy for me. I don't know, man. Rogue are good on King of the Hill.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the stats, and it's not looking too good for Rogue. 16-8 for Cloud9. They've won 16 maps, lost 8 maps.
But how many of those were in no hero limit territory? Because that's when they were very good at King of the Hill, and then one hero limit came in, and their results have slid.
I'll give you that, yes. I'll give you probably the majority of it was in no hero limit, but I think in general the play style of control point maps will still carry over with no hero limit. And then you look at Rogue, they're 4-4, so 4 wins, 4 losses for them. Not the greatest, 50% success rate compared to their opponents. It's going to be tough. It's definitely possible for both teams to win, but Cloud9, when you get down and dirty in these skirmishes, that's where they flourish.
It's short for Tracer time, isn't
it? Exactly.
I mean, and should we Tracer from both sides, if I'm honest here? So obviously Night Market, Garden, and Command Center are the 3 maps that we see in Lijiang Tower. A lot of holes to fall down. That's definitely the problem. So Lucio's can get their time in the sun as well with some boops. Also, Winston is really, really good here when he has Primal Rage. That bridge right there on the left is a death trap if you walk into a very angry and a bright red Winston.
I believe we saw, wasn't it Cloud9 that pulled out a couple of Pharah? It was, wasn't it? It was Cloud9 and Envious that both pulled out Pharah on King of the Hill.
Yeah, it was Envious on Ilios, and I believe it was Cloud9 on Ilios Tower, if I'm not mistaken.
So we saw the Pharah Mercy come out. I don't know. Interesting to see if we see that.
I don't love it on Command Center.
I don't know how well I mean, in Command Center, Command Center can actually work because you're on the high ground. Everyone's focused on the low ground where you can hide behind things. But in not Night Garden. The second point. Oh, why can't I think of the name?
Center?
No, not
Garden and Night Market.
Okay, there we go. Night Garden. I combined the two.
Night Garden. Good one.
It's really tough to play fair there when you're up against AKM, who can just take it out from long range. We saw like the shots he can hit.
I mean, we can speculate all we want, but we never know what they're going to pick until we start the game. That's what's going to happen. So enjoy all the actions with our casters.
All right, to Lijiang Tower we go in the third map in this best of 3. Of course, first map did go to Cloud9. Second map was Rogue's Choice, did end up going their way. Third map is Lijiang Tower, and Cloud9 traditionally has been a team very good on King of the Hill, but as the analysis desk rightly pointed out, a lot of that dominance was because of double Winston, double Reaper, double McCree, double Lucio, that type of thing.
That's where they really shine.
What do you think we're going to see here?
I think we'll see Cloud9 pulling out the win. I mean, it's really tough when like as a team, if you ever have a huge weakness, as Cloud9 does have in Dorado, if you almost always are going to be giving up a map just because you're so bad on one map, that's really rough. You do not want to give up that free map every time. But on Lijiang, as you said, they're a strong team. I don't feel like they're a very strategical team. They don't really do that much analyst. They don't go back and watch Vods too much. They're just very strong mechanically, and they're good at shot calling down those targets and picking them off. So I think King of the Hill, Lijiang Tower, perfect map for Cloud9. Definitely USA.
Yeah, I think this should be decent. Of course, Tibet was one of the folks that really pioneered, well, Tibet and Kai, I should say, Winston in this old meta. But of course, Kai has proven to be such a goddamn great, amazing Zarya. So he's going to be putting the shields on his teammates at a perfect time every single time, and we'll see.
And Surefour Tracer.
Yeah, Surefour's
Tracer,
hate on
that. That is a
Tracer always so strong on King of the Hill.
Yeah, and we can see Grego just setting up his team, getting in position. Reaper's going to get that first pick. AKM showing up for his team once again, doing a great job this whole tournament so far. He is just consistently getting those kills. And actually, Surefour going to recall. He gets back on top. He's going to pick off 2-1. He gets, barely gets that Zarya as well. It's a Tracer versus Tracer battle, and he's actually going to fall to AKM.
Yeah, it was actually a combination of the enemy Tracer and AKM on McCree, both hitting Surefour at once. So either good luck or great team coordination came into play there for Rogue, as it looks like they're going to be able to capture first here on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, that was a great job. I think AKM actually got 3 or 4 kills. They are super spread out, so it doesn't look as flashy, but he is just consistently putting in damage. And it's sometimes finishing kills, sometimes, you know, bringing a target down to half health, but overall, very, very impressed with AKM.
All right, the first ultimates are going to be up here in just a second, but that's a bit of an overextension there by Tibet. He went down in a split second there. It's going to be ultimates on both sides. Transcendence as well as Sound Barrier down. And another Sound Barrier will go down as well, but Cloud9 saved their Sound Barrier for a little bit lighter, so they should have, in theory, had an advantage, but it is Unco who's going to be able to get a kill. Reinforce Tavik, the entire team is participating here. And guys, what you just saw is Tibet jumping into his Doom. He doesn't want to feed ultimate charge. Probably purposeful there.
Yeah, the crowd's a little too happy about that. I can see the bias in our European viewers already. Not appreciative of that. But, I mean, they're just doing a great job of shutting down Surefour. Almost every time it seems like AKM is getting his flash onto Surefour, and as soon as you do that, close range, it's almost always you're going to get a kill.
Okay, Surefour is feigning on the right side while the rest of his team heads on to the left. Let's see if he's able to distract enough to pull the attention away. There's a pretty big Zarya ultimate from both sides, going to capture 2 in on both sides, but Adam and Reaver are going to get the first 2 kills in this engagement, and this could potentially snowball out of control for Cloud9. Wins will respond, but ultimately Cloud9 is getting the kills, they're getting the positioning, and they will also get the point.
Yeah, I think what Cloud9 need to do is they need to make sure that Surefour is constantly flanking and avoiding that McCree. On the other side, Rogue are very intelligently positioning their heroes so that they always have that McCree in the backline or that Tracer that can mimic Surefour and mirror him.
Oh, AKM being speed boosted out with the Deadeye, but it's his teammates that will pick up the first kills in that engagement, and this is already looking good for Rogue. They've used a number of ultimates though, so if they don't capture it, it's not so great. Does look like in the end they are going to be able to slowly whittle down this Cloud9 team, regardless of the fact that Grego did drop his sound barrier, so now both Lucio's without a sound barrier for the next fight. Let's see about some other support ultimates. Surefour trying his best to try to do some tickle damage. He does, of course, have that Tracer Pulse Bomb, and that Pulse Bomb is such a hit or miss ultimate. You can get 1, you can get 2, you can get none, or you can get 5.
Yeah, and I feel like he's not going to get 5 without that Zarya ult. He should pull the trigger here now, though. I think if he can get a kill or 2 with it, yeah, you can always get it back before that Zarya ult comes in. I wouldn't hold on to it too much. He's going to let it go. I don't think he's going to get much with it. He's the last one up for the team, and actually to Veek, just giving him a pop in the back of the head, that melee coming in. He's going to drop him real quick.
Uh-oh, are we about to see a major upset in Group B? This could potentially happen as Cloud9, one of the favorites to go the furthest in this tournament. They have had impressive results for 4, 5, 6+ months now. They've been at the very top of Overwatch competition. And Rogue, on the other hand, they've been there for a brief moment. But as of late, Rogue hasn't performed to kind of where we thought they should have. So, is this the return to form for Rogue, or do you think Cloud9 needs to step it up?
I think Cloud9 needs to step it up. It's going to be interesting to see if they're going to get to that breaking point and they say, you know what, something isn't working here, we need to make changes. And they haven't gotten to that point yet. They're just consistently sticking on what heroes they've been playing, and it's not working. I want to see some changes come in, because I don't know. They have to come together as a team, because right now they are not playing as one.
Yeah, both teams with near identical team comps. The only difference here is, of course, a Reaper on one side with a McCree on the other, but the first 2 kills already going the way of Cloud9. Adam being taken down, but the amping healing there. Grego's able to keep his fellow support alive. Shore4 going to continue to get a series of kills, and that's going to be first capture for Cloud9.
Yeah, very intelligently though. Rogue is playing that McCree, as you pointed out earlier, and they're so far on that first round have done a great job of shutting down Shore4. But as you can see, if you don't do it, Shore4 will literally kill half your team, if not more. And he's already at 81% charge on that pulse bomb, which can almost guarantee another kill if it does attach itself to anybody.
Yeah, Reaver not able to connect there, and actually a little bit off sides from his team. Adam Sink, and that's going to be the first 2 kills easily gone the way of Rogue. You know, Shore4 has been in the wings and is doing his work. He has Zenyatta in his sights, but actually decided to back off. He will use the sound barrier, though, as extra boost of confidence to jump on in there, killing that Zenyatta, which is always important, Hug.
Yeah, but then he runs into the McCree. AKM, once again, doing great job by his team. He's going to fall eventually, but he did take out Shore4. It seems like no matter what, Rogue want to assign AKM, stay on Shore4. You're winning that matchup. His team needs to back him up, though, a little bit more. Wasn't a bad fight for Rogue just because they did get that Lucio ult and they basically had to use it or they're going to lose the point. But now going in with even ults, let's see if they can make the difference.
And looks like Kai has Graviton Surge while Wins does not, so this could definitely change the tone of this next fight. As actually, unfortunately for Reinforce, he wastes the 8th ultimate. Winston down and out early in that fight, so Rogue back to the drawing board, and they still have probably 2 pushes, like 1 good push and 1 rushed push left here.
One of those good pushes, though, are going to get slammed down by the Zarya ult and Shore4's Pulse Bomb. I almost guarantee it. Will they play up? That's the question. Will they play the choke? I feel like the closer you are, the more grouped up they are, the better it is. Kai's definitely going to be looking for it. He gets it down. Will we see that Pulse Bomb? He gets 2, actually, with the Pulse Bomb, and he's already back up to 30%. That's the beauty of that ultimate. The Tracer can always get Pulse Bombs so quickly in this matchup, especially in King of the Hill.
And that was a great play for multiple reasons. Unko, of course, Zenyatta for Rogue, popped his Transcendence in the heart of that Graviton Surge. But of course, a Tracer Pulse Bomb is going to get the kill either way.
So yeah, you're going to still save your tanks, but if you save your tanks and you're still going to be down 2 members, is it worth it? Is it not better just to save it, I think?
Well, it was worth it for Cloud9. They're going to be able to clean this up and get the 2nd point here on Lijiang Tower. Currently tied up 1-1 in points here.
Yes.
So looks like we're going to go all the way in this series.
I hope so. I hope it goes the distance. More games, the better for me. And you can see Cloud9 guys are calm, cool, collected, and they didn't change anything. They're not worried. I think they just need to focus on their team play and their positioning. They want to make sure that they get the matchups that they need. And one of those matchups, Tracer on anything but that McCree. Basically, that's the most important thing. And then other than that, if you can ever get Reaver on those tanky heroes, like that Winston, like that Zarya, he's going to burn through them.
Yeah, Reinforce didn't seem like he did all too much with Winston on that last point. And definitely on King of the Hill, you have to see Zarya and Winston work together in tandem, because Winston really cannot jump into the fray without a Zarya bubble to back him up.
Yeah, and I just feel like they don't have as much damage either without that Reaper on their own side. McCree is a great choice at neglecting the enemy Tracer, but he's not going to be able to do the damage that that Reaper can on the Cloud9 side.
Yeah, especially against tanks, so maybe that's why Debet has been going wild, where Reinforced has been actually going down. He's almost dead already, brought down so low. Reinforced has to jump away. He is going to be able to pick up the health pack, though, so AKM gets the first kill in this fight. Debet will go down. Surefour responds against the Lucio,
And he's got his pulse bomb already. He actually drops it. It doesn't look like he's going to get much, but that's just a testament of how quickly these Tracers are doing damage. You can say
this
Tavik
is so
falls
close.
too.
This is so close. AKM still on the point, and it does look like Rogue has the better positioning, but they really didn't have the numbers there. It was still 2 versus 2 for a second there, but Rogue anyway able to collect the point. Unko, oh wow, actually somehow, some way, Debet able to take down Unko basically by himself, and this is interesting.
That ultimate.
I don't know about that ultimate.
that ultimate, Adam. I feel like he probably popped it trying to save Debet, but he got there a little too late. And he, you know, with that ultimate, you do get the speed boost. So it is a question of, okay, can I pop this and get to him in time? Because if you do, you're almost for sure gonna heal him up all the way. Unfortunately, it wasn't, but Surefour single-handedly almost just getting 2 kills. And he's constantly flanking and picking off reinforcements. What great play by Surefour.
Now, Surefour still playing fantastically. The Rogue still has the ultimate advantage, though. They could be able to weather this storm. And it looks like they're doing okay for now, as long as they can try and somehow take out Surefour. Someone turn on him. He's just zipping around. This guy is so hard to hit. He's got...
he runs into the McCree.
That is why AKM is playing McCree for that flashbang to try and take out that Tracer. Well, AKM's McCree is really damn good.
Yes.
That too.
But that's exactly what they're looking for. Surefour, I mean, he was doing a great job. You could say that he wasn't even on the point. He was behind the point trying to cut off the reinforcements, and he picked up 2 people, which actually made that fight very close. But so far, the percentages tell the tale of this round. 68% for Rogue, 0% for Cloud9. Even though the fights have been very scrappy, very close, they are just not getting it done.
Yeah, Cloud9 has just had an ultimate disadvantage almost the entire time, it seems like, after Adam wasted that one Transcendence, and they just haven't recovered. Now they're running out of time. They only have one real push left. The only silver lining now is that Rogue has used every one of their ultimates. Nox close to a Lucio sound barrier for the next fight, but Cloud9 should have a small advantage for this next last push. They need to go in right now, though.
Yeah, they have 2 ultimates between Reaver and Kai. They're going to actually drop one of them here. Can they get the kill?
Get value. It doesn't get the value that he needed, but Reaver comes in the last second, able to use that Death Blossom, and this is exactly what Cloud9 needed, Hug.
Yeah, but is it too little, too late? 99% against 0. Cloud9 are going to they can't give up this point.
Yeah, they
better turn on
can't
some
give it up at all.
Rick Astley or something. Never give you up, because they do it once, and this round's going to be quick over.
Oh man, they are far, far, far away from having any kind of semblance of ultimate advantage. And of course, you say, Ben, Rogue doesn't have many either. Well, they'll have a couple in a little bit here, including the Zarya ultimate, which could be comboed with Tavik. I think that's what we need to look out for. Will Tavik be able to get that big pulse bomb?
Yeah, and I definitely think he can. Actually, we see that Zarya going down real quickly, so she's not going to get any ultimate at all. She's at 86%. She still has a while to go, and we can see Surefour doing a great job. Debet even jumping in there, slapping people left and right. It's just a punching box over here. Tavik running just decides, you know what, enough is enough. I accept my fate. Yeah.
Yeah, so Tavik will have to try again, and Wynn's getting closer and closer to the Graviton Surge. So this next fight is going to be crazy with Rogue stacked to the teeth. Nox is the only one who won't have his ultimate, but no! Surefour found a way to get down Wins! Yeah. That is actually massive, because that gives them another 20 to 30 seconds here before that Graviton Surge is in play.
Yeah, but it's still going to be 5 ultimates to 0. Cloud9 cannot give up this point, but how do you win a fight like this? It's almost impossible. The odds are stacked completely against them. Rogue have so many options. And AKM, wow, just going huge. 4 kills, and this is almost for sure going to be over. It feels incredibly bad.
Wow, they had 5 ultimates. It seems like they only needed 1. AKM gets the Deadeye of the century. You don't see that very often.
It's got to be play of the game, right? Has to be play of the game.
I would certainly assume so.
All right.
Wow.
It's going to be 2-1 in Rogue's favor. Can Cloud9 bring it back? I mean, that was rough. That was very rough. I feel like Cloud9 didn't play that bad. The point was contested for a lot of that match. They just could never close it out, and they ran out of time. 5 ultimates to 0. And they only needed one. Let's be real here. They needed the Deadeye, and that was it. And they did a great job. That was a great position. I am so very impressed with AKM and Tavik both.
Yeah.
They are great DPS players here on Rogue's side.
To be fair, it was a press and Q moment there for AKM.
Yes.
He was in the right position at the right time, and he was speed boosted out of the gates by Nox. So of course, all of that helps, and all of that is important. But Cloud9's got to be kicking themselves. It feels like they could have held there, regardless of the fact that they were so down and so out in terms of ultimates. They could have found a way, but they died.
Yeah, I mean, it's really rough, but they're going to come back to this map, and they're already going to get one kill. This is the round that they won previously, so we could be going 2-2. We could be going to the very last moment, but at the same time, Rogue is pulling a lot of kills. And Sureforce trying to pull this back for his team. He's the only one getting kills right now, but he's actually going to get taken out by Tavik, and
if anyone else on Cloud9 was able to get a kill early in that fight, it would have been a different story.
Yes.
Surefour got 3 on his own as Tracer, but couldn't carry his team hard enough, unfortunately, Hug.
Yeah, I think Kai got 1 kill at the very beginning, but yeah, I really think Reaver, being such a great player, he's just not pulling the weight that he usually does, and that could be, you know, just bad settings, not used to it. I'm not sure, but they're already going to lose 1 member, and this battle is turning worse and worse as it goes down. 2 people, 3 going down. AKM saying, you know what? I don't need to play McCree. Let's go. Tracer versus Tracer. I can pull this out of my hat.
Yeah, this is super rough now for Cloud9. They're on the verge of being knocked down to the losers bracket, which is certainly not something I expected to be saying here in the first round of the tournament. Cloud9, of course, has been one of the strongest since day 1 in Overwatch, and they've been impressive as well recently, beating teams like Fnatic, who's taken quote-unquote #1 in EU. Rogue's gonna drop their...
Look at AKM. Yeah. He's just going through the whole team. No one is targeting him. Why is he allowed this space? You can see him. No one's touching him. He's at 50 HP. He's still shifting through, picking off targets. No one can touch him. He is all over the place. He already has Pulse Bomb again. He wants to chase this team down. They're playing so aggressively. We can see Surefour even going down to the Zenyatta.
And look at the ultimate advantage now in this favor of Rogue. It's only 1. Actually, it's
and they're at 70%.
You know what?
71.
This is going to be a crazy battle. Both teams are going to be stacked to the teeth, and Cloud9 doesn't have a lot of time left. They have to make this one count. If it doesn't end up working out, it might as well be over. But Wins is going to grab 3 into a big Graviton Surge. 2 kills coming out of that. Surefour will respond. So Cloud9 not out of it yet, but they have a disadvantage. Cloud9 getting into the fray. Tavik with the Dragon Blade, though. There is no time left for Cloud9. They need it to happen here, Huck.
Surefour still on the point. He's trying to buy time. It's literally 4 members against Surefour. You can see him dancing. He needs to stay on that point. He needs to contest. DeBet's going to come in, back him up, but he just doesn't have the damage. He's going to drop down. DeBet's going to drop down, and it's still OT 99-0. Rogue are this close to closing it out. They could be going to the winner match. Could be EU versus EU. They're trying to bleed in, but I don't know if they're going to make it. They need to touch the point. Can Surefour get on it? He's going to dash in. Looks like he gets picked off, and Rogue do it.
Rogue have done it, Huck. Rogue have done it. The hometown favorites. I'll say that much. 2 Swedes and 4 Frenchmen making it happen versus one of North America's finest teams. And this is a massive win for the confidence of Rogue. They have struggled as of late, but here, what a statement.
For the first time ever, Rogue beat Cloud9. And
on this
Cloud9,
stage.
Yeah, they got to be scratching their heads. They are a seasoned team. They've been together for a long time. They shouldn't have, you know, live jitters. They've been doing this for a long time. They already won 1. I don't know. They need to go talk some issues out.